So, I hope it's working now. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. Sometimes it happens. I just get disconnected. I guess when I talk too much, the system reminds me. Yeah, yeah. No more polar bear. It's thawed out. Hello, Prince. That's right. Magic Mehran disappears and appears again. So, as I was talking, I think it was we were talking about Stephanie's question. So, so you mentioned you have a hard time to move on, and we were talking about, is it actually the person or the relationship that was so wonderful that makes you feel you can't replace it, or that it's so valuable and so hard to forget it and all that, so forth. And we discussed about the fact, how could you condense the whole opportunity of the universe and life into one relationship that didn't even work out. And then we were discussing about, is it actually the relation that was so wonderful, or was it your desire and your attention or your need for a relationship that made that to be more than what it was? Like the apple in the store that we said, if we're passing by and we're hungry, we see an apple, suddenly we are even willing to pay more than what it's worth and what is priced at the window, because it's our hunger that makes the apple to get its value. It's not the apple itself. Why? Because when you come out of the restaurant and you haven't had, or you've had a full tummy, good food, and you're full, that apple is not so interesting to you anymore. Whether it's even if it's 2 cents, you won't buy it, because you have no hunger for it. So is it the apple that is really all that great and valuable, or is it your hunger, therefore your desire, that gives value and importance to the apple? So if you look at it this way, you will see that your relationship that you're wallowing on, or just sad about it, it's because you are giving it importance. But by itself, it's not the representation of the life and world itself. It's a fragment of this life. And you can't sacrifice the whole of your life, the whole of the opportunity, the whole experience of life for a fragment. And this fragment is not like irreplaceable. It's irreplaceable because you have decided to wallow in it, to stay in it. And you find comfort when you think about it, because memory is the consciousness, which is the field of the known. And in the field of the known, there is certain kind of a psychological security and comfort. And you prefer to be there rather than venture out and cut the cord from the boat that is stuck to the dock and go out in the sea and see other shores and other possibilities and experience, and then say, this was the best of it all. Because what is your point of reference? Your point of reference is between this and what it was before this. But you cannot have a point of reference between this and what can be, which is in the works of possibilities. Therefore, focus on comparing this with the possibilities, not this with what it used to be. Because obviously this has replaced whatever it used to be. But it cannot replace what it can be, as this replaced what it used to be. So that whatever is possible for you and is in the works in the future will also, for the same logic, replace this that you think it's so all that. So on that premise, perhaps you can find a little bit of more fuel and catapult out of this rut. Hope that was something for you to think about, Stephanie. Let's see. Everybody who put a question here need to rewrite it, because I do not see that previous screen. We got disconnected, so therefore I don't know what the questions were. Good, Stephanie. I'm glad. And don't forget, Stephanie, go to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and acquire one of those dirt cheap ebooks that I've purposely reduced them to a price of a coffee, because I want you all to own a copy. As far as you know, there is no financial interest agenda here, because the prices are like $4, $5, $6. This is not even going to, after the PayPal and all that. It's just a reason for me to encourage you guys to own a copy of the Me, My Psyche, and I, and then enjoy it on days like this. Read a chapter, and short chapters, and ponder and enhance your understanding about your own psyche. Because when we are born and all through our lives, we were always taught lots of things, math and sciences and this and that, and social behavior and flexibility and so on. But we never taught about how this works, how our psyche functions. Why is it that we feel the way we do? Why is it that we fall and we feel we're in a rut, we can't get out? Why is it that we can't climb out of a hole and get out and to the world and enjoy ourselves? And these are what I want you guys to learn. That's why I reduced these prices into the point that no currency, whether it's a India rupee or whatever else it may be, cannot say that because these prices are in US, therefore it's a little bit more expensive for them. So I've now made it affordable for any nationality's currency, any country's currency, and please go ahead and take one of these and keep it. You don't have to buy the print. The print is very expensive. Buy the ebook. Now, okay, good. Now, Don says, should I bear and endure a relationship if we are both polar opposites? Why? The answer is in the question. You just said, should I bear? Why do you have to bear? We're bearing almost every nonsense in this world anyhow. Bearing the things that we don't agree with, bearing with the taxes we have to pay, bearing with the rules and regulations that is part of the conditionings that we have been swimming in from childhood, bearing the expectations of the others, bearing the fact that we should be affirmed as a part of the conditioning, bearing all. Why should you have to now bear a relationship? Relationship is tough enough by itself, because naturally relationship is between two images. It's not between you and the other person. It's between the image you have of yourself and the image that you have of that person in your mind. The image you have of yourself in your psyche, and the image of the other person that you have in your psyche, and these two images are interacting. You never have your center, your real you, your center, your consciousness, totally, completely knowing about the consciousness of the other person and interact on total clarity. The images are interacting. So these two consciousnesses being different, being made differently, being influenced and put together differently due to what you've been exposed to, your religion, your background, your customs and traditions and dogmas and so on and so forth. And already these two consciousnesses are different that have created these images that they're now interacting. So there will be divisions and conflicts naturally in every relationship. Between friends, between partners, there will be. Now on top of that, you have, and most of them are not aware, they're just trying to make it work and see why is it that it's not working, or what should I do to make it all work. And everybody has different motivation to be in a relationship. We've talked about all these in past 90 some live talks that we've had, partly lecture and partly question and answers. So all these divisions and conflicts arising from the differences between the consciousness is always there. Now you have noticed that you're bearing and enduring a relationship that is not working, but you want to stay in it. And then the question would be, why? Why is it? Is it intimacy that you can't you know, it encourages you to stay. Or if I break this up, then I don't have interest. I can't sleep with her and all that. Is that what motivates you? Because if that's the case, it's a very bad motivation. I mean, I can understand it, but it's not a lasting motivation, because, you know, for the same, you know, reasons that you like a girl, you can like, if it's only physically deep, you can also like another girl. So it's not going to be lasting, because there's no bonding material there. The bonding takes place in consciousness. But if it's only based on your intimacy and physical desires and interactions and connections, it's not going to last anything, because physical needs or physical intimacy is never going to be the main reason to keep a relationship together for a good duration. You have had experiences, maybe you found a girl that is so most beautiful to you, or if a lady finds a man who's very handsome to her, yet they still get separated after a while. Why? Well, physically it was apparently compatible, so what happened? So it's not really the physical intimacy and the physical attraction that is going to hold. The physical interests are an invitation to get to know each other. It's an encouragement. But once that becomes the only thing that is in the relationship and is in the balance, it has no holding power. For a while, yes, you know, you'll say anything to each other just because it's new, everything is new. But after a while, there's no content in order to hold the physical attraction. So Don, I guess you might want to ponder on that a little bit more. Stephanie says, can you please provide the website? Oh, yes. It's www.mind that seeks the truth. I guess that's the best way to .com, of course, .com. mindthatseekstruth.com. If you go on my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, you will see that there's a link there for the site, and you'll be able to click on it and, you know, get to the site easily. David is making a complimentary comment. Says, "Who is this nut?" Well, stick around, you'll find out. All right. So we had a number of questions, but since we got somehow lost the connection, I don't see them here. So you guys, if I haven't answered the question, please rewrite them, if you will. Otherwise, I'll be drinking my tea until you guys come up with some question. The idea of interacting with the world, in your opinion, being all actual, it's an idea that you might want to ponder on, because when you realize that you're really meeting most things in life with an image, your image, and not really what is being interacted with you is not really affecting you, your center, but it's only your image that is shielding. You've created an image of yourself, and if somebody says something nasty or disrespectful or something that is questionable, you feel hurt. But if you realize that what was being hurt is really something that doesn't exist, which is your image, then suddenly you feel there is no effect of that was being uttered to you as your entity, as your alive entity. And that will make things very easy for you to negotiate, whether it's in a relationship or in a friendship or it's an encounter with someone out there in your daily life. Because if you focus on the words that are being uttered, each word has a certain meaning that has been recorded. And that meaning supposedly brings about a certain character, certain picture, or certain meaning to you, and therefore your attention will go toward the credibility of the meaning of the word rather than the source where the word was uttered. Let's say if a dog barks something that sounds like a word, let's say it says hello or it says stupid, if you focus on the word stupid, you might get offended. But if you focus on the fact that the source of this word having been uttered is a dog, then you will find there is no meaning to it. So when you are in a relationship or encountering some situations, focus on the source of what is being uttered rather than the words that have credibility and meaning in dictionary. You've seen it and you think that's what the word means, and that's how you're going to be affected. And also focus on the fact that whatever is being, you feel you're affected, it's your image that has been affected, which by nature you're going to throw this image out next second because you're now in a different position, different part of the town, different thing you're busy with, and you have no longer use for the previous image that you had. Let's say you were in a bus, you were a passenger of the bus. That's the image you have. If you're driving a bus, you have an image of a driver. If you're in a shop shopping, you have an image of a shopper. If you're selling something, you have an image of a clerk. So these images throughout your day are constantly being used and thrown out. So in this way also, when something is uttered, it's just going to be facing your image, which you simply are going to dismantle it or not use it and change it to another image a second later. Being aware of it in your relationships and your negotiations with people or things in life, you will be less bothered or offended by focusing on these things that we just shared. Now, something for you to think about. Mark, hello Mark, how are you? Mark says, partner, you don't see my comment. Where is my blessing? I didn't see your comment, Mark. Where was it? Even if I go back here, I don't see your comment here. You know why? Because we got disconnected from our first part of this conversation today, and maybe you didn't rewrite it. Now I can see it. Good to see you here, Mark. Now we have Tautia Daryush. Daryush is a Persian name, but Tautia is an interesting first name. And he or she says, what do you think about the modern way of dating, online apps? Is it sustainable? Very good question. I simply would like to size up the jacket that I want to wear rather than just seeing how beautiful it is on the picture and ordering it. I think there could be more chances of wrong size and mistake if I just order it through online or go to a store and actually have an interaction and wear it and see how it fits. Same thing with becoming friend with someone. It is always wonderful on online. Everybody's on their best behavior behind a certain machine. Nobody sees any facial reactions or it's not a physical interaction. Nobody sees anybody, how they are presenting themselves. Everybody's on their best explanation of how they look. They have a prettiest picture of themselves on, and at all time when you're reading that, you're looking at that picture, so it's a very pleasant picture. Confuses you with actual effects of the words or interaction. That picture is always in a good mood or something. And then you don't really see that person in the actuality of negotiation of life, ups and downs of the life, how they behave in a certain behavior. If you're sitting down and having tea or coffee with someone in a coffee house, you will be able to see how this person is reacting to other things in that environment, how he or she is interacting with what she's doing, what he's doing. What's the manner like? Is it compatible to you even when you eat food, or when you have a certain facial expression when you discuss things? Where you are, where's your connection? Where's your eye contact? Where's your energy that you exude? You know, we're not all about physical appearances. This is one of the big mistakes that we have come to make in life. We think of ourselves as what we are visible, but the entity of human being is made out of two parts: mind and the body. And the body has its own rules, and mind has its own rules. And the mind is where the supposedly is responsible for the energy that is flowing through it, extending outwardly, because universe is made out of energy. Everything is made out of energy. So we're made out of energy, and our relationship with the energy of the universe is important. What is that energy? When the energy of the universe comes through us, is it boosted in the same quality and better, purified even more and expanded outwardly? Or is it coming here and gets all negative and worked up, and a bad negative energy is going to be extended outwardly towards other people? You can't tell that on online communications. These are things that you have to understand. First, what are you made out of? And what is it that you're trying to find out about that person? Is it only the way they look? Well, if it's the way they look, well, everybody can leave a picture. Why don't you just, get in a relationship with a picture, because it's really pretty all the time. But there is an energy element in us which makes us tick and affects others in the way that it does. So it is very important for you to be in contact with effects of that energy of two people on each other, and see how is it, the social behavior, the manners, the backgrounds, the thought process, and the way they interact with the environment, with the other people. These are social skills that you want to know, which will help to find out if you're in good company or not, if you're compatible or not, if you're in harmony or not. And the energy that is flowing through you, how is it affecting each other when you're actually in close proximity of each other? Now, these are things that you cannot get from the online dating type thing. And of course, if it's a long distance one, it's totally disastrous, because they have a shortcomings. They don't have the right person with them, so they get on internet and they connect with some picture again, and they seem to be really enjoying that connection. However, soon after, when they are gaining some confidence because of this connection, and when they get confidence because of this connection, now suddenly things change in their own close proximity, and they meet someone physically, because now they feel they want a physical contact or actual interaction. And then that whole long distance that you worked for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, or 3 months, you were all hopeful, suddenly changes for one of you, and it leads to disappointment and waste of energy. So again, long distance, especially on the internet or any other way, it's really not the best choice. Internet dating, I don't know, I guess, it's like lottery, And often you meet the person that you thought so highly because of all these careful writings and exchange of thoughts. When you meet, you see that it's not the same. The same person that you were so proud of getting to know, when you meet, so there is another element there that affects each one of you when you actually are in close proximity in an activity of the daily life. And through that, you really get to know if it's harmonious, if you're compatible or not. So that's pretty much what I could say about that. So we have now Tutia again says, would you agree that it is harder for individuals to create trust? Yeah, we just talked about that. Yeah, sure. Batter says, sir, you didn't see my comment. No, Batter, I didn't. Because as I mentioned, when we got disconnected for connection trouble, I lost all the comments. So if you wouldn't mind, please send it again. And Prince says, guys, no need to be mean to each other. Oh, somebody's being mean? Yes, don't do that. Totia says, should clarify. Oh, you should, okay, what is it? Meeting people online versus spontaneous interaction because of the way you have encountered the individual. Does it ultimately make them more? I'm not quite sure to understand this, Tuti. I'm sorry. Perhaps my previous explanation would be of some help. And Tuti continues, it seems society is now going towards fast interactions by always distract. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you cannot have a relationship as if it's a fast food. Fast food is fast and it's food. It's gonna maybe satisfy your hunger for that particular need or moment, but there's nothing to write home about the quality of that food. It's something just, it's based on need and time. And if you want to use the same recipe for a relationship, well, relationship is about quality and interaction and depth of understanding each other's consciousness. And how can you do that in a fast reaction? A fast reaction is only limited to physical connections. Fast reaction is just looking at the newspaper. Pretty girl, or if you're a lady, good-looking guy, and you keep doing this. That's all you can get in there. A certain kind of excitement or interest. That's it. So you meet someone. If it's very quick, hello and how are you, or she looks good, or the guy's got a nice car, or whatever. Where's the bonding? Where's the compatibility? Where's the understanding? Where is the negotiation? You can't just get a bunch of ingredients of a delicious food, supposed to be, and put it all in a pot and says, okay, I've got the delicious food. Now there's the element of time and heat that needs to fuse these ingredients, bring them to a certain kind of a elevation or development, level of development, in order to bring all that taste and fuse them together and to bring about what you're trying to create. So you have a good ingredient, let's say, a good quality or background of the person, educated or nice or this and that, man or woman, they get together for a short period of time, but there has not been enough time to explore those qualities, even though they could have those qualities. It's not about taking the word of the other person or just taking everything for what it seems to be. You got to explore to see if that actually, what you're seeing, represents the expectations that is in your consciousness or your motivation is for that relationship or not. And is it the same with the other person or not? So these are all things that you might want to consider before you go. You're welcome. Great analogy. Thank you. You're welcome, Totia. Now, let's see, what time do we have? I don't want to go over our time today. Okay, we are still about 20 minutes away from our time today. So, I think we're caught up with the questions unless I miss something, which please rewrite it, if you will. Most important is to know yourself before you start getting to know someone else. Understand what is your motivation for a relationship. What is it that you want? And is that what you want similar or the same to what the other person wants from that relationship? Then you guys at least have a similar intentions or similar directions for developing any kind of a relationship. Let's see, we have another question here. Batur says, greeting from Turkey, sir. Good to see you too, Batur. And the only thing I know in Turkish is güle güle efendi. I don't know if it means welcome or goodbye or something like that, but whatever it is positive, I believe. I have a question, he says, Batur says. I am really annoyed from the other people. Well, join the club. Excuse me. Okay, I'm really annoyed with the other people who are interfered me at work or in daily life. What should I do? Should I listen them everything they said or not? Oops. Everything they said or not. Thank you for that. Well, it depends on what they say. I mean, if everything is an interference. You're doing your own thing, somebody says your shoe is untied. Well, better to tie the shoes. It's going to fall in the next few steps. Depends on what they say. You can't, I don't know what they say to tell you you should listen to them or not. If it's something to do with your work, and you're doing it wrong, or you're doing it in some way other than what it should be, and those people are qualified to give you that direction or advice, then you may want to take it to heart and do it because it's for the good of the project. Don't take it personally as they are saying it to you as a person, which would mean you're diminished in value, or if they praise you, that would elevate you in value. None of that. It's all the image that you feel good that somebody said something good about me, so I feel elated. But who is that person who's really saying all those good things about you? That person needs another person to affirm him and say something good about him to make him feel good. So what is the qualification of that person? If it's a mathematician who teaches you something about, or makes a comment, something about your solving a mathematical problem, well, that's great. That's appreciated. It's qualified. But if someone who plays piano is trying to tell you something about math that he or she doesn't know anything about it, then why should you listen to that? You're your own person. You could be good at what you're doing and be able to help other people too. But also, even though if you're good at something that you can make comment to other people while they're doing their thing, you got to see if it's requested. You can't just go around and tell people what to do just because you're good at it. Same thing with them. If it's got nothing to do with their department or your work, or in the same team, and they keep telling you stuff to do, just tell them, look, I'm focused on my work, and please stay focused on your work. That's it. You don't have to be angry. You just say, look, I understand that you want to help, but I don't need the help. I'll ask if I need. And also you can ask me if you need some help. Then we'll see how we can accommodate that. Simple as that. Don't make a big deal out of it. I don't think you should think just because somebody's telling you something or interfering with your work, it means you're less or more, or they're better than you or not, or they're in a higher position. Or don't be affected by that. Just lots of people say things, they want to make themselves look important. If a person is important, will not annoy others. If a person is not important and is in pursuit of making himself more than what it is, then he might, one of the ways would be to tell this one what to do, tell that one what to do, when he doesn't know shit himself. And that happens in everyone's life, including mine. So, you never know what the day brings about and who you will encounter and who has their own shortcomings, and they're trying to take a shortcut and prove to themselves that they're more than what they are because they're dissatisfied about where they are, and they try to elevate themselves by trying to put somebody else down. There are two ways of having the tallest building in town. One is to keep building your own and go up and make it taller. And the other one is to destroy every other tall buildings. So yours will seem taller. And this is what some people do. Instead of going to learn or try to be helpful or to be positive, they just try to find an angle in order to try to elevate themselves up by something irrelevant or something not that important, but they make it a big deal in order to feel good about themselves. That's their problem. That's their shortcomings. You don't have to pay attention to that. You should just continue whatever it is that you think is right, you should be doing. So, let's see. What else do we have here? More questions, guys. We're in the last 15 minutes of our discussion here, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Don't forget to please share the videos that you like. We now have about 600 videos on the YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Mehran, Dadbeh, my first name and last name. You just go on YouTube and write that, and the search, my channel will come. There's about 600 videos, long discussions, short discussions, question and answer, short ones, short videos, or long lectures, depending on the topic. I've got maybe about 50 or 60 playlists that you can look and search what you're looking for, or you can go on the videos and search by the concept, but the thing that the question that you have, concern that you have, and you will probably get lots of videos on whatever it is that you're searching in matters of thoughts, consciousness, ego, fears, and desire, and relationships, and breakups, and so on and so forth. So remember, my whole purpose of talking about relationship breakups and so on is my tool in order to introduce to you how your thoughts, consciousness, desire, ego, and fears are interrelated, and they affect your daily life, and how they move, their movements in your psyche as a whole, so you get to know yourself better. So it is not just about our channel is not just about relationship and breakups. It's actually using this venue, this forum of this subject of breakups and so on, in order to introduce to you the role of your psyche, thoughts, fears, desire, and ego, and so on, in this whole journey of life. So please do share the videos that you like on your social media, so people will get to know about what we do here and my work, and they know that there's support available for them in many aspects of life, and to get to know themselves and so on, and how to move on if they're in a breakup or any other thing that is holding them back. And also please go on my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, and like the page, so when we have other live talks in my own Facebook page, or events or posts, supporting posts, you can take advantage of it and see it. Make sure to go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and do acquire the ebooks that I have purposely, because of the anniversary of the live talks that we've had, brought it to a price that is very affordable for everybody, just a few dollars, and I want you guys to have it. As I mentioned, there is not much of a financial objectives here, because the books are selling about in Indigo and Amazon, and Amazon has only the ebooks, and my own site, they're over $100 or $80. These are the printed matters, which is heavy to ship, so they're expensive. So I made them into ebooks, and then reduced the ebooks to a price that nobody has an excuse to say, oh, I really want to get the books, but they're in US currency and they're very expensive compared to our currency. Now, no excuse of that. So go ahead and acquire them while they are at that price, and that would give you something to refer to whenever you want to ponder on some points, and it will be of some help to you, I hope. Now, have we finished what we have intended to do here? Do we have any more questions? And if not, in the next minute or so, if I don't see a question, I will just let you guys, I'll leave, and have a wonderful Sunday. I hope that you will sort things out, and I'm glad that you've given me this opportunity to sit down here and share some of these views with you, and I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And Adam comes at the finish line and says, what is the best way to deal with shyness? Don't be shy. Understand that you're being shy toward other people who are exactly like you. Not in shyness, but they're made exactly from the same things. Flesh, hands, fingers, eyes, nose. They need to eat, they need to go to the bathroom, they need to clean themselves, they need to be polite, they need to be nice, they need to do their responsibilities, duties. It's the same. So what is it that makes you shy? They're no better than you, no higher than you. Maybe somebody has more glings and blings and so on hanging on themselves, or the watches, or the car, the money, but they're still have the same needs and desires and interests, and they can be negotiating life in the same ways that you do, the same concerns, the same hopes. Nothing to be shy about. You're just as equal as anybody else, and that should help you to know there's nothing there that you should be intimidated by. Just go build yourself, acquire more knowledge, learn more things, make a wonderful life based on knowledge and expertise and experiences. Negotiate life in the most positive way that you can, and understand your worth and value is no less than anybody else, regardless of what they have or what you don't have. Because what we are all in it together is that we are all human beings made out of physical entity part and the mind and body. We all have the same. So the rest of it is about your manners, attitudes, and so on. Find the ones who you would feel comfortable around, so you won't be that shy until you get out of this little thing that you've made in your own mind. All it is your mind. The moment that you say, I'm not shy, then you're not shy. Then you find out why you're shy. What? What do they have more than you? Nothing. It's all in your head that they're better than you. You're just as good as anybody else. Okay, on that note, I hope you all will have a wonderful week. I love you all. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to see you next week, Saturday, on my own Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, and I'll have the post of the live talk there, or next Sunday, hopefully, on this wonderful page of the amazing things in the world. And thanks for the good people of Wittyfeed from India who have accommodated this wonderful page with over 5 million people reach, and I hope as many people as they had the time to have been able to see some of our live talks, if not today, next time. Talk to you all later, and see you soon.